Well, hello there everybody on this delightful afternoon. I think it's Wednesday. Not sure about time these days. Everything's coexisting at the same time. I've been meaning to make this video for so long because what do you do when you actually get what you want? This has been the contemplation of many of the clients I've been working with and my own journey as well, and my whole Rosy Glow team and the Enjoy Yoga team as everything's coming up to speed, because we have found that actually it is not so difficult to get what you want. What's difficult is maintaining it, and many of us actually stumble at the place of reaching, aspiring towards what we want, because it's easier to be in that place of aspiring but not quite getting, to deal with that disappointment but keeps you hungry for more, than to actually get to the point that you've got there. You are now pregnant, you have that wonderful relationship that you've wanted, you've got the new job that you wanted, you've lost the weight that you wanted to lose, you've got your health tick okay, whatever it is that you've been aiming towards, that has been your complete focus, and then suddenly it's like, what do I do now? And fear of success is actually a much bigger deal than fear of failure. Fear of failure is the excuse we use to not succeed. And, you know, it's important to recognise what success is, because obviously we look beyond the traditional third dimensional idea of what success is, which is, you know, money, power, prestige, objects, and actually look at it more in terms of fulfilment, a sense of empowerment, a sense of inner peace, a sense of all being in divine and perfect order, even when it seems like the shit's hitting the fan and it doesn't look like that. Now, what we actually do when we have what we want is really, it's about being able to maintain and expand. But in order to be able to do that, and not to just keep having those almost got there, oh, I've got it, oh no I haven't, oh yes I have, and those momentary leaps where it looks like you have got where you want but you just can't maintain it, is we have to look at the erroneous beliefs we've inherited that actually prevent us from having what we want. Only this morning a friend of mine is in hospital. He has this intermittent heart condition, and he recognises that it came about when he was starting to think, I'm kind of expecting something to happen now, because things are going well, I'm happy in myself, actually everything's okay, there's no big drama to worry about. Oh, something must go wrong therefore, because everything's okay. And that is true for so many of us. If we have had trauma in our lives, which by the way all of us have, you know, we've survived, we are the survivors, but none of us have lived through life without having to lose someone we love, without knowing of something terrible happening to someone, without having gone through some kind of hardship, whether it's emotional, psychological, physical or spiritual. So we learn through the challenges that come about. Hello. And as a result of those challenges, we either bat ourselves down more and try and stay in our box, or we expand beyond whatever we have known to be. So it is absolutely essential to keep dreaming your dreams awake, and to keep asking the question, which I remember one of my lovely teachers, Gabrielle, used to say, how can life get better than this? How can it get better than this? Because through so doing, you start to expand beyond your own perception of what is possible into unimaginable horizons. And with this comes a tremendous responsibility, actually, because part of what I'm talking about is claiming your power as a co-creator of your reality, claiming your power as a multidimensional being of love and light. And that means you own your shit. It means there's no more blame, there's no more guilt, there's no more shame. And isn't it interesting that blame and guilt are kind of like, I'm either going to turn on myself or I'm going to turn on you. Oh, and then either way I'm going to feel shame about this, or I'm going to try and justify it by projecting judgment. All of this I've talked before about being the wounds of the wounded inner female, which, you know, we've all had mothers, whether adopted, whatever has gone on in our lives, we've all had mothers. So we have some womb toxicity to clear up, my friends, and we also have some motherline toxicity and some fatherline toxicity to clear up. And it doesn't matter what your conscious mind says, oh, I know what it is now, I've had my aha moment, that's never going to happen again. If you have an unconscious fear of your own success because of the perception that you have to fail after you have succeeded, then it's never going to be a continuity of expansion that you feel, okay? It's never going to be that the better it gets, the better it gets. It's going to be the better it gets, then there's something awful, then the better it gets, then there's something awful. And, you know, you can choose what type of board game you want your life to be at the end of the day. You are a co-creator of your reality. Snakes and ladders is what we all seem to be on, until we kind of recognise that every snake that we go down is actually just a revisiting of something, an old perspective, an old wound, just to make sure that we've learnt that lesson and we're moving on. And when we let go of attachment to outcomes, when we let go of the fact that yes, this physical experience is a transient one, but our souls are eternal, then we can really have fun in this earthly garden. And that's what I'm here to help you to do. You know, this is what this is all about for me, is being able to help you get to the point where you can actually see beyond the hedge, see beyond the fence, and go, oh, I like what's going on there. I really would like, I'd like that. And to get over the fear of actually having it, because everything that we were inspired by as children, it's all there as little gifts, little symbols from our soul, our higher self, to help us to remember to use our imagination, to remember what we're passionate about. And we're living in a world today where, to me, it seems the most caring people are renouncing wealth because they see wealth as the root of all evil. They see so much suffering going on in the world, most of it being because people don't have the resources to be able to get the help that they need. And, you know, unfortunately, so many of the people that are actually the helpers are not nourishing themselves. They're not coming from a full cup. So we're all getting depleted in the process. That was my lesson with Enjoy Yoga. And that depletion means that we're haggard, we're running haggard, trying to help other people. And actually the best example we can give is to overflow from a full cup, to be generous in our ability and capacity to give, because we have everything that we need, because we have started to value ourselves, give it to ourselves, and as a result of that we see it mirrored in the world around us. Then we're living the example that Jesus talked about, and we are the example, we are the change. And as a result of that, we then, as we offer our hand to others, we're not trying to help them and therefore make them dependent on us. We're saying, look, this is how you do this for yourself. This is how you grow your magic beans. Let me show you. And this is where autonomy comes in. This is where we all evolve out of a consciousness of lack, out of a consciousness of misery, out of a consciousness of victimhood, into one where it really is, the better it gets, the better it gets. So I'd really like you to just feel inspired now by the idea that having what you want is less scary than not having it. And if it's feeling less scary, then you know you are ready to get in touch and find out whether you are ready for a big leap, which means working with me in my group or one-to-one coaching programs online, or whether you're ready for a leap, but a slightly smaller leap, in which case you're going to be more interested in the Co-Creation Success course, which is starting up again at the end of October. So I'll put some links for you so you can register your interest. But remember, the big leaps come with you being willing to commit to yourself, and you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. That's how every breakthrough I have had has come about, and it does bring up the shadow, which is what, we'll be speaking in a minute, which is what really this full moon that we just had was all about, was digging up those, do you really think you're worthy of this? Do you really think you're deserving of it? And actually all those little bits of us that we have been, we're scared of owning, we wish didn't exist as a part of us. We feel in some way they make us less than we actually are. And that's the biggest, saddest thing, is that we are as much light as we are darkness. We are as much darkness as we are light. And when you embrace that, and you embrace that through the mud the lotus appears, and it's through loving your mud and all the rich experiences that you've been through that you can step into a place where you're like, well, I don't have to keep identifying with that mud anymore. I know it's there. I love it. I've accepted it. And now I'm going to step into my light. And I know I've got these deep roots to hold me, so I can really feel strong about expanding out through my branches, through my wings, into more of me, and discovering what it feels like to turn all of the different lights on that I know of as me, and to discover more. So imagine it's like a palace with endless rooms, or a diamond with so many facets that you will never ever get bored of discovering yourself, because that's who you are. That's your divine spark. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, you may well want to subscribe to Rosie Glow YouTube, and also rosieglow.com. There's a free prosperity challenge there that will help you get on your feet and shift your mindset around lack. And of course, the Rosie Glow Facebook page, where I do loads of stuff too. Have a beautiful day. Embrace your fear of success and get in touch. Let's get going. Let's get going. It's time now. Time for the change. Everyone's feeling it. Don't sink, swim and fly. Lots of love.